one will be massive. Legacy 2026, the Independence Edition. Saturday, February 7th, 8 p.m., Rodney Bay Pavilion. It's the big war. Legacy presents one of the Caribbean's greatest artists ever, the undisputed queen of soca, Destra. Yes, Destra Garcia. Destra. Then our groovy giants, Teddyson John, doing his vintage set.
I must have a woman to come and wine up on me.
And King Alpha. Plus the outstanding St. Lucian cast, a mix of legends and rising stars. Ashanti, Educator, Desra, Manchas, Black Eye, Short Pants and more. Legacy 26 will be an epic show. Saturday, February 7th, 8 p.m., Rodney Bay Pavilion. Limited early birds $120, regular $150. Tickets available at Steve's Barbershop and The Way. Sponsored by Republic Bank, Massey Store, First Citizen, IBS Solution, Piton Bear, Crystal Clear Water, Flow, and the Independence Committee.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway. Call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Are you ready to make your mark in the media industry? NBC and Real FM are looking for fresh talent to join our team. We are currently seeking a dynamic radio DJ and announcer for Real FM, and also a skilled camera operator and editor for NBC. Apply today. Send your applications to jobs@nbcslu.com. Don't wait. The deadline is February 12, 2026.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop, opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? when there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7458.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man.
Another wonderful Tuesday afternoon to you, everyone. It is the third day of the month of February 2026. And this is The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, alongside Terry Fenelon and our technical operator, Alton Jaquan Joseph. Hope you're having a good day so far. It's looking like the kind of day to enjoy. It's looking like the kind of time and the kind of country where we can be happy. This is a beautiful time of the year. Yeah, we've moved out of New Year. We've moved out of Nobel laureate month, etc. But hey, Valentine is just around the corner, isn't it? Yeah, and Teddy Francis and his legacy show is this coming weekend.
That's right.
I suspect Terry Fenelon is going to go. It's going to be his breakout from the period of mourning and sorrow that he's been in. So it's going to be. I can't speak for him. Jaquan always blushes when I speak about that. I think he watches the commercial for Legacy and he says Destra,
And the carnival and
the carnival and all of that, And independence is coming, and beyond that, a lot more exciting things are due to take place. The weather is good at this time of the year and going to get even better. Mm-hmm. Second term is the term of school sports, I think. So we're going to see some running, maybe some new JD. I'm not even going to mention Julian, but JD Emmanuel. She exploded on the scene. Maybe we're going to see more people inspired by Julian and JD, coming on the scene. So it's a good time to be alive. It's a good time to be a St. Lucian. Make the most and the best of it. Happy to be hosting The Real Issues. Happy to be a St. Lucian. You're a great people, You're great and wonderful people. I'm happy to be one of you. I'm happy to be among you. I'm happy that this is where the good Lord chose to place me, to have my birth and where my navel is buried and so on. I just wish we would recognize our own greatness, our own purpose, and take care of the space that we've been given. It's just 238 square miles, yes, but I think it's a dynamic, it's a powerful, it's a significant 238 square miles. And the good Lord, like he says, the thoughts he has towards us, he knows them. They are good and not evil. And that if he chooses to place us here, he's done so for a reason that will have us all rejoicing. We just have to play well the cards that he has placed in our hand, where our environment is concerned, where our relationship with each other is concerned. There are many things that we have in our hands and within our control, and that we can do. Okay, Folks, there's been a lot of talk about Uber, and let me tell you that tomorrow on this program, I expect to have two very special guests. One is an economist. The other one is a lawyer who deals with matters of regulation, corporate law, and those sorts of things. And they will be talking about Uber, expressing their views. It's not necessarily a crossfire program in the sense that they will be looking to oppose or hold antagonist views on the subject, but they'll be sharing the benefit of their areas of expertise on the whole Uber phenomenon. Is it likely to do good for St. Lucia? You know, a case where it's pretty much a digital investment. There is no hard infrastructure or investment footprint as you would have in a hotel that would have buildings that would be employing people physically and that would have a place of, it really is something about digital assets and what's in it for St. Lucia. Well, I don't know. People say otherwise. I believe if it's going to generate business for taxi drivers in off hours away from the regular pegs, they'll have people calling them because it's easy to book. I've had to call so many taxi drivers myself, in terms of knowing when they're available. And then this one says, no, I'm out of town now, I'm on my way to town, but I'll be a little while. I'm not available today. And I mean, if there is an app, I'm assuming that the app is able to tell you who is available, what time, where they are, and basically to get to dispatch them to where you want them to be as far as they can reach, I suppose. I don't know. I don't see anything wrong with that, especially if they say they will not be looking to undercut those who are there already. They'll be working with those that are already registered and licensed as taxi drivers. There's a lot of good things, but there are others who say this will only facilitate a problem that we've had of capital flight from the country, where people who come and they invest and, the money gets repatriated back to their home country or to their base of operations. Even if the hotels do that, as V.C. Bird, the first Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, very long-serving, used to say to people, don't worry about the hotels. The hotels come, they build hotels there, and if they want to go, let them go, because they cannot carry the hotel away with them, So the government would find a way to repurpose the hotel, get new investors to come in, they cannot carry it off. But it's a different case with a company that is digitally based. Now, I heard so many things about Uber. I decided to go online and to register, to download the app, to set it up and to register whatever it was for Uber. At first, it didn't go too well because you have different ways of registering. You can use your phone number. I started with that one. When I entered my phone number, it said, that phone number has been blocked. And I'm saying, how can my phone number be blocked with Uber? And I have no history with Uber whatsoever. So I decided, okay, it says continue. My phone is an Android, so you must have a Google account and a Google email and everything. So I decided, okay, if it's an Android, all my values for the Android are already inputted and so on. So let me register via my Google account. And it accepted that. It went through everything, except for the last part where it asked me to put in my credit card or my Visa card details and so on. I looked at it, I started, and then I stopped. I said, I haven't done any business with you. And I have to enter, well, a lot of them you have to put it, but usually it's at the point where you make a purchase, even if it's your first one, and then you have the option of asking whether to save your card details for future transactions and so on. I don't know Uber well enough. Besides, there was a little bit of ambiguity about whether Uber has actually started operations in St. Lucia, or is that they intend to start? Because you're hearing different things. Uber is putting out statements that they're already in St. Lucia, they're already operating. And I thought yesterday, I heard a government source, was it the minister, say that they have not given any permission for Uber to operate in St. Lucia. Now, I don't know if Uber needs permission to operate. If Uber needs the official database of whatever, of who's a licensed taxi owner, to me, they don't need the permission of a minister to get that. That should be public information, who's a registered taxi. And they can get it from the different associations of people who want to be, in the Uber system, on the Uber service. Of course, working whatever it is. But Uber seems to be of the view that they are already operational in St. Lucia. Now, many times I have set out to read the press release that was put out by my friend, a PR agent who does work for different entities and so on. In fact, with the passing of his father recently, I do remember that I was linked up with Ross Kadas when we were on the other side by that communications booking agent, Chelsea Jonge, and very nice lady, by the way. And she put out a press release on behalf of Uber, which was the first thing that I got to hear about it. And this was what it said. It's dated the 27th of January, so not too long. And this is what it says. Uber is now available in St. Lucia with Uber Taxi. It has a little introductory blurb which says the app launches with the Uber Taxi option, connecting users directly with licensed local taxi drivers. So at the start, initially, it's a licensed taxi operator. So it isn't anything where I decide I'm going to use my vehicle to earn a little, make a little money there and do a little bit of pirating or however we call it. You have to be somebody who's already in the system as a licensed taxi driver. And I suppose that means you must have a TX number plate or whatever. Castro St. Lucia, January 27, 2026. Uber announced today, and that's the 27th of January we're talking about. Today is the 3rd of February. So when we're talking about 27th of January, that's 7 days ago, isn't it? 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Okay, 5 and 3. About 8 days, all right? Uber announced today that the app is now available in St. Lucia with Uber Taxi. Visitors and locals can now request trips through the app, connecting with licensed local taxi drivers across the island. St. Lucia welcomes visitors from around the world, and this launch brings a familiar app-based way to get around the island, said Jorge Cordero, General Manager for Uber in St. Lucia. Uber Taxi connects tourists with licensed local taxi drivers with upfront trip details designed to make exploring St. Lucia more seamless. Uber Taxi is an option within the Uber app that allows licensed taxi drivers to receive trip requests through the platform. Riders can view driver details, see estimated fares, and follow routes in real time. The experience adds transparency and convenience while keeping the local taxi industry at the center. Uber shared its plans to bring the app to St. Lucia late last year and began inviting taxi drivers to join ahead of today's launch. Hear that? The response in the market has been strong, and taxis are already available in the app to complete trips. We're also in ongoing conversations with transportation companies and taxi organizations to support onboarding, said Cordero. Taxi organizations and transportation companies interested in receiving more information can register here. And they give a link, which is t.uber.com/St. Lucia, which is STLUCIA. They're all in lowercase. Uber Taxi has been introduced in popular tourist destinations. In 2025, Uber launched in Barbados, marking the app's first introduction in the Eastern Caribbean. In the Dominican Republic, since 2022, Uber's licensed taxi option has facilitated more than 115,000 trips, including over 31,000 trips to and from Punta Cana International Airport. In France, more than 3,000 taxis are active on the platform. And in the United States, Uber Taxi operates in cities including New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Chicago, and Washington, D.C. The Uber app includes more than 30 safety features designed to support riders and taxi drivers before, during, and after a trip. These include real-time trip sharing, PIN verification, personal identification number, and in-app safety tools. Every licensed taxi driver must complete a verification process and submit valid documentation before receiving trip requests through the app, reinforcing Uber's commitment to safety and trust. At the bottom, it has a little postscript. Uber launched in 2010 to solve a simple problem: how to get a ride with just the touch of a button. 1.5 million rides later, the app develops products that help people get to where they want to be. By transforming how people, food, and other items move around the city, Uber opens a new world of opportunities. The app is currently available in over 15,000 cities worldwide. And that was put out, like I said, by Miss Chelsea Jonge, a marketing and communications professional. All right, and she gives her address, her email, her phone number, I know the person, etc. So I told Chelsea that people are asking questions about Uber. We've heard from Nobby, but there are people who are supportive. I mean, I have people, real issues, people who have messaged me and sent voice notes and said they've had experiences with Uber and it's good and they don't see anything wrong. So there's the pros and cons. There's those who are for, there's those who are against, etc., etc. It's not a case where there's an outcry against Uber that is concentrated. So I asked Chelsea who are the people and if she could put me in touch with them, maybe we could interview them. She explained to me that the Uber executives who are responsible for our zone, for St. Lucia the Caribbean. They were mostly Spanish people. And you heard about in the Dominican Republic. Some of them are from South America. While they can speak English, they don't have the fluency to carry through a live interview. They might struggle. And I know the Spanish people, it's a lot of R's and arms, and sometimes it's just the whole linguistic challenge and etc. that it poses for them. But she said, if you send the questions to them, they can read through them, whether, she didn't say that, but use translation software, whatever it is, and then they will respond to you. They'll send a prepared statement. And these were the 8 questions that I sent to them. For those who don't already know what is Uber and how does it work, it's almost a superfluous question. We can always research that. Is Uber a franchise that must follow a standard format, or is it adapted and tailored to suit different markets and environments? It's question 2. Question 3. Uber has announced its arrival in St. Lucia. Exactly how is this presence manifested? And how can interested persons make contact and utilize these new services? 4. Uber has stated that its service in St. Lucia will use only service providers that are already registered / licensed taxi operators. Does that mean that Uber is collaborating with the taxi associations and the government authorities to decide which service providers it can enroll? 5. If Uber will only be working with licensed taxi operators in St. Lucia, why do you think there is so much uneasiness that Uber will undercut local taxi services? 6. What assurance can you give to local taxi operators that Uber will be no threat to them? 7. Can Uber enhance local taxi services, and in what ways? 8. The final question, will Uber be undertaking a public education and awareness in St. Lucia to make sure stakeholders and the public understand better? So, Jaquan, can we play the response that we got from a gentleman whose name has been given to me as Mr. Salado, I think it was. All right, let me make sure I get that right. His name is Angeline Salado. Is that his name or no? I think Angeline sent me the email. Let me see this. Let me see. I want to make sure. No, it's not Angeline Salado sent me the email, but the video statement that we're about to view is by one Jorge Cordero, the general manager for Uber in St. Lucia. Now, that doesn't mean that he is present in St. Lucia. Yeah. It just means he is the executive that has been assigned for St. Lucia, the market that Uber announced it has just entered. So let's hear from Mr. Cordero.
We are very excited to announce that the Uber Taxi app is now available all across the island of St. Lucia. We have received very positive feedback from taxi drivers, and we are now in constant communication with different taxi associations to help them with their onboarding process. And we have many taxi drivers who are already available and active in the Uber app. We are welcoming all of the St. Lucians and tourists that come to St. Lucia to use the Uber app so they can move freely around the island. For the peace of mind of our riders, they'll have all the information regarding their trip, from the driver information, trip destination, trip route, and all the details regarding the trip they are taking. We're also putting available to our riders and drivers the different 30 safety features so they feel secure before, during, and after every single trip they take in St. Lucia. We welcome you to use the Uber app now that it's available. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you'll see he didn't really go into the details of what I asked, but it's probably a lot, like I said, when they are linguistically, ready, different from us and so on, they probably try to make it as economical as possible. That is probably a standard and stock, probably a standard and stock statement that they put out. It doesn't address too much. But let me just say this. I've received pro and con messages from a lot of people, and I'm talking about real issues, people who have expressed their views about it. Tomorrow I expect, and I think I can tell you, I expect to have Dr. Carlton Augustine, who called the program last week. He's an economist, lecturer in economics at university. He's a former central bank economist, worked with the ECCB and so on. And the other person I expect to have is Miss Kimani Goddard. We knew Kimani. She was a broadcast journalist with HTS, I think, for many years. And Kimani has been working, I think, in Switzerland at one of the trade bodies. She's a lawyer. She specializes in regulatory and corporate law and those areas. And she's going to have her views on the matter. And I hope tomorrow to have a couple of them, the two of them on the program, to give their views of how they feel about Uber's entry into St. Lucia. Good. Now, let me see this. Let me see. Okay, let's hear another clip, which, first let me read a couple of the messages. I'm not going to say the names of the people, but one said, "Good afternoon, Shelton. I live in New York, and I love Uber and Lyft." Or is it Lyft or Lyft? Lyft, okay? I hadn't heard of this one before, and it's another similar service. Lyft, okay. Now, it has its pros and cons. Pro, if, for example, you're going from Grocery to VA4, they charge you $80 and you get an estimated time of arrival. You can spend 3 hours in traffic, the fare remains the same. Con, rush hour, snow, rain, etc., the price doubles. For example, Labor Day, my daughter was not feeling well and we had to take her to the ER. That's a 10-minute drive away and would cost around $9. We were charged $52 and wait time was 15 minutes. We walked there. The locals want to charge you exorbitant fees in US and not EC. After hours, price, etc. Not sure how it will work in St. Lucia, but ... And he sends a little chart, a little graphic about what the Uber fares are, all right? The prices, well, they're in pound sterling. I won't try to go into that. But let's play, not the first clip I sent you, the second one, where somebody sent me a voice note. Not the one with Dr. Carlton Augustine, the other one where the guy sent me the voice note. I thanked him, but I don't have him in print. So let's hear what he had to say.
Hey, Shelton. Morning. Sorry for sending you this. I was just listening to your program you had yesterday whilst I'm driving. I'm at work. So, yeah. I believe the Uber will be a good thing. But I heard some of your callers are calling and they're more focused on the tourism aspect. And Uber will come and take the jobs from, But Uber will not only be for the tourism. Uber will be for the local people too. Just imagine, there is, say, 3 cruise ship in Castries, and there is 2 in Vieux-Fort. Where you think the taxi association will be? You see, they will be in Vieux-Fort at the seaport, or Castries at the seaport. Now you, a local person, and then you need a taxi. You will not find that you think a taxi will leave the tourists and come and pick you up as a local person to take you wherever you need to go. No. You see, and I believe Uber is a good thing. Yeah, it has its pros, it has its cons. Yeah. But Uber is basically there for everybody. Everyone. Yeah. And next thing, you basically, if you're going to book an Uber, you'll see the different class of vehicles that you can get. You see? Whether you want a big one, a small one, so you choose the vehicle that you want. Especially if you're a local person and you need to go to the airport. You can see what vehicle will take all your baggage. You see? So I believe it's Uber, it has its pros and has its cons, but it's a positive thing for St. Lucia. Yeah? So, the locals, imagine you at KFC, having a bit of KFC, and you realize, okay, it's raining, A taxi may not even come and take you at KFC and drop you home. So you go on the app, search for an Uber, so it will show you the time it will get to you. It will give you your price, your fixed price, and then it will give you the time that it will get to wherever you need to go. So if the Uber don't turn up, say they refuse your job, yeah, customer service will do whatever they need to do so that they can reimburse you, but at the same time you can rebook another Uber. You see? So for me personally, a lot of people are just focused about tourism, but not focused about the local people, me and you, who need an Uber. It works here fine. In the UK it's fine. Especially people going clubbing. After clubbing, they need an Uber. On the app they get Uber. So it works fine.
Another person said, "Good day, Shelton. I just wanted to fill you in with something about Uber if you are not aware of. Both the driver and the passenger are rated. So after your ride has ended, you are able to rate your driver, which will be available for all passengers to see. And likewise, your driver will rate you, the passenger, so all drivers can see when you book your ride. So I suppose this is almost like TripAdvisor, Expedia, and whatever those, rating things where you're able to say how, your experience with that hotel. Likewise, maybe the driver can say you are somebody more. They told you don't eat in the vehicle. You ate there, you spilled soda and fries all over the seat and whatever, You let out a fat that almost caused them to have an accident, this kind of thing. Okay. So if you make the driver wait long and you're not a good tipper or you litter the vehicle, oh boy, I didn't even remember that and I end up saying it. The fat thing was just a joke, Or an unruly passenger, the driver will give you a poor rating and your future bookings will have a longer wait for your ride and your fare could even be slightly higher as drivers will be declining your pickup and vice versa. You can also share your ride to your friends and loved ones and family so they can monitor your ride. You can monitor your driver and see exactly where he is on his way to you and can cancel your pickup at any time for a small fee. You will also have the immediate access to the driver just in case you lose or forget something on his or her vehicle. I don't know if that's a separate message, but the one says, in New York City, Uber might have been the worst thing for taxi drivers, but the best thing, passengers, especially if you are black. I have tried stopping a taxi in the city before Uber, and not one ever stopped for me. So it's security for both sides. All right, folks, thanks for sharing those messages. And somebody says, a country or local municipality can absolutely ban Uber from operating within its jurisdiction. Numerous countries and cities have implemented full or partial bans on Uber due to regulatory issues, safety concerns, pressure from taxi unions, or failure to meet local licensing requirements. Examples of countries/regions with bans or strict restrictions: Turkey. A national ban was instituted following a lawsuit by taxi driver associations regarding unfair competition. Denmark. Uber shut down operations in 2017 after new taxi legislation made taxi meters mandatory and imposed strict regulations. Bulgaria. The Supreme Administrative Court shut down Uber in 2015 for operating as an unregistered taxi service. Taiwan faced with high fines. Uber previously suspended services, though it later returned under a different model. Australia, Northern Territory. A complete ban on Uber has existed, with the union preferring local transportation regulations. China. While not a government ban, regulatory hurdles and high losses led Uber to sell its operations to local rival Didi in 2016. Common reasons for bans: unfair competition. Taxi unions often argue that Uber avoids the heavy taxes, licensing fees, and insurance costs that traditional taxi services must pay. Safety and licensing. Governments may require specific licenses, background checks like fingerprinting, or safety training that Uber refuses to adopt. Labor laws. Issues surrounding whether drivers are employees or independent contractors can lead to legal challenges. The reality of bans, temporary versus permanent. These bans are often temporary, with Uber frequently challenging them in court or adjusting its business model to comply with local laws. Regional variation. A country might have banned Uber in one city, for example, Vancouver, Canada, in the past, while it operates in others. All right. We're over the 1 o'clock time. We have to take our break. Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. When we come back, there's a bit more. Like I said, Dr. Carlton Augustine, who's due to be on tomorrow, in fact, felt it important enough to send me a reference to something that was also arising in the region, in Trinidad, which I want to feature when we return. And then together with Carlton, we'll decide whether we open the phone lines then or if there is something that he wants to present. Back in a moment.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real Issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
one will be massive. Legacy 2026, the Independence Edition. Saturday, February 7th, 8 p.m., Rodney Bay Pavilion. It's the big war. Legacy presents one of the Caribbean's greatest artists ever. The undisputed queen of soca, Destra. Yes, Destra Garcia. Destra. Then our groovy giants, Teddyson John, doing his vintage set.
I must have a woman to come and wine up on me.
And King Alpha. Plus the outstanding St. Lucian cast, a mix of legends and rising stars. Ashanti, Educator, Desral, Manchas, Black Eye. Short pants and more. Legacy 26 will be an epic show. Saturday, February 7th, 8 p.m. Rodney Bay Pavilion. Limited early birds $120. Regular $150. Tickets available at Steve's Barber Shop and The Way. Sponsored by Republic Bank, Massey Store, First Citizen, IBS Solution, Piton Bear, Crystal Clear Water, Flow, and the Independence Committee.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Are you ready to make your mark in the media industry? NBC and Real FM are looking for fresh talent to join our team. We are currently seeking a dynamic radio DJ and announcer for Real FM, and also a skilled camera operator and editor for NBC. Apply today. Send your applications to jobs@nbcslu.com. Don't wait. The deadline is February 12, 2026.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Thank you everyone for staying with the real issues, and the link that Dr. Carlton Augustine sent me is to an article in the Trinidad Guardian newspaper. Let me see.
One of them, yeah.
But it is titled 4 Reasons Why Uber Failed in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
It was written, I think, on June the 3rd, 2018, so that's some time ago. And the author one, Orrin M. Swanston. It says, when Uber launched in TNT, it was viewed as being potentially transformative to the public transport industry by bringing a safer and more reliable method of getting around. After much initial fanfare, however, Uber has decided to pause operations in Trinidad and Tobago. So what happened? And like I said, this isn't an article recent, okay? We're talking about something about 7.5 years ago. There's a few reasons why Uber may have opted to call it quits. Low credit card usage is the first subheading. Credit card penetration in Trinidad and Tobago is roughly 20% of the adult population, with many businesses still not accepting credit cards as a form of payment. Public support for an Uber-type service may not have been high enough to warrant a shift to using their services. High interest rates, stiff penalties, and the difficulty of accessing credit for many persons has limited the number of persons willing to make heavier usage of credit cards. Higher cost. While Uber did allow cash payments for those without credit card access, the higher cost of taking an Uber taxi instead of a route or shared taxi meant that persons would have to carry significantly more cash while moving around instead of the more affordable option of using a route or shared taxi at significantly lower cost. Comparative to route taxis, the cost of hailing an Uber came with a minimum fee that was already 4 or 5 times the average cost of competing services. Thus, usage as a daily service was simply not feasible for many potential customers. High crime. By accepting cash payments, Uber drivers also made themselves reliable mobile targets. There were several incidents where several drivers were targeted and robbed of cash, cell phones, and even their vehicles. This culminated in the death of a young Uber driver who was murdered in what appeared to be an attempted robbery. Given the higher cost of using Uber, if safety could not be guaranteed, then it also becomes difficult for consumers to justify higher prices and diminishes the status of the service in the eyes of the public. Legal issues. Uber was fundamentally operating outside the law, as private vehicles are not allowed to operate taxis according to local law. The government of TNT has consistently maintained that the technology company was an illegal enterprise with significant questions still needing to be answered with relation to insurance coverage for both drivers and passengers, as well as the taxation structure, which was never disclosed. Drivers who were robbed may also be facing problems reporting crime without also being accused of offering an illegal service. It's like you illegally plant weed and somebody come and steal your weed. How do you go and report that to the police, you know? They listen to you, they'll take your report, and then out will come their handcuffs. Even though Uber is a welcome technology, some might say it was doomed from inception due to a flawed launch that did not take into consideration certain cultural and political hurdles that it would encounter. Yet while Uber may not have made the inroads it expected, it now leaves the market open for competing services such as Drop Taxi and Caribbean Taxi, or new service. All right, so this is an article written in 2018. It's a while back. Yeah, I'm sure, you know, they've done the tweaks that now we must operate with already registered and licensed taxi owners and etc., etc. Did I play the clip by Carlton or did I? Okay, let's play the clip because Dr. Carlton Augustine sent an accompanying voice clip. So let's play that. The Uber debate is an interesting one. Yeah.
Shelton, good afternoon. Carlton here. Apparently, Uber set up operations in Trinidad and Tobago in 2016. In much the same way they did as they're doing now in St. Lucia. And they were forced to shut down by 2016. And part of the reason was that they were never able to resolve issues with the government. And in the age of e-commerce, where a company does not have to set up a physical presence in the country, it is very easy to see what they did and how they did it. But they were never able to resolve the regulatory issues in Trinidad, and this is one of the reasons why they were forced to shut down in Trinidad. They set up operations by 2016, and by 2018, a year and a half later, they had ceased operations.
Hey, Shelton. Morning.
That was just a little, I suppose, a little reference guide, that Carlton gave together with the link that he provided of that article from the Trinidad newspaper. Folks, we're happy with the interest we've taken. We cannot lock out things from our country. The way about protectionism and so on, it's not the way of the world. The world frowns upon it. You can find yourself in all kinds of problems for doing it. And so it's not a matter of whether we protect local interests, but how we go about doing it, You become protectionist, you can inspire retaliation, sanctions, this, that, or the other. You can get reported to trade bodies such as the WTO, even though it seems like it has become largely irrelevant because people are stepping over it. And in a country that wants to develop as a free market, modern economy and so on, we have to allow competition and we have to give people choice. People want a choice. Either we stick with taxi as we know it the traditional way, or as more and more young people are growing up and they want to go and do some shopping, or they want to shop remotely, pay for their things. And I think we already have that kind of service, delivery services. Mm-hmm. And maybe they want an Uber to pick it up for them and to bring it to their home. And then when you come, I'll go out on a trip with you, whatever. The versatility, the flexibility that it grants you to be able to do everything from your phone and so on is something that you cannot deny people. And you say you have a modern, market-driven economy and so on. You can't do that. It's outmoded, it's outdated, and it's going to keep you stuck. The thing about it, when you do this kind of domestic protectionism, it causes a decline in the quality of service because people become complacent. They even become cocky, arrogant, that you can do whatever you want. You have no choice but to come to me and to us. And we've seen how this works. I mean, just think of the time when certain people were basically the only game in town, whether it was a bank, whether it was a pharmacy, whether it was a restaurant, a phone company, whatever it was. The kind of attitude you used to get from them, people who are supposed to be in customer service were literally cussing you off because they know what you can do. There's nowhere else for you to turn. You have to come to us. We see when things became more liberalized and there was choice, gas stations, whatever it was, they know they're competing with, in a little block, 10 other gas stations. So if they want the little margin of whatever it is, 125 on every gallon and so on, they have to treat you better than they used to before because you can turn your back and go somewhere down the road. And maybe Uber will add another layer of choice. People don't have to access it and use its service, but it is important that we preserve the availability of choice for people in our country. It leads to us getting served by better prices and better service. If Uber come and they see me going, there is always some other service, including the ones that have been spawned domestically. You can understand there are a couple more services, that can come. And then people will say, hey, my own guy from Soufre or whatever and so on is a lot better. They understand the vibe of the country much better, and they can do that for you. So Terry.
What is preventing the local taxi association, the local taxi drivers from upping the game?
That's right.
Because now they are meeting. I understand that they're in a meeting. They'll strategize. Mm-hmm. And if you see that, competition will force you to up your game. I'm still, listening. There are some very, very, very good arguments made. The only thing I didn't like was the noise, making it partisan. Mm-hmm. The party knew and they signed an agreement since November and they kept it from the public to the election. No, we don't have to do that. We could discuss we could discuss this thing without that kind of rancor and biasness. So Shelton, I'm asking, Uber will not be owning any vehicles, right? As far as I know, registered taxi operators. Mm-hmm. So basically the taxi operator, I might be wrong on that, so you can correct me. I don't want to appear as an ignoramus on this. So basically you'll be loaning out your vehicle or releasing it to Uber. Mm-hmm. They will charge and pay you a fee. And you have to maintain your vehicle, put gas in the vehicle, etc. Mm-hmm. So why go through all of that when I think the local associations could come to band together and provide a similar service where you keep 100% of the monies being spent. People talk about leakages. Yes, it's a leakage there when your monies have to go out. I understand that. So adapt. Competition will force us to adapt, not so? Yes. I mean, I do not have to take an Uber, and frankly, just like you, I am putting my credit card in anything or my debit card. I funny like that. I won't be doing that. Plus, local customs. Sheldon, I'm sure you know. Let me. I am almost certain that in your phone book, you have numbers for taxi drivers that you know personally. I know mine. When I want a taxi, I go in my phone book. I have a personal relationship with my partner. Well, I don't want to call his name. He operates from Gable Woods. I say, hey, partner, the very best. What are you doing now? And a lot of people do that. So it's not like everybody's been forced to take an Uber. Yes, I understand there'll be some disruption. But taxi drivers, the associations, come on, man. Band together, adapt. And I'm sure if you put your heads together, you could compete. Because we already know you. We already have that kind of relationship. The people who go to the market on a Saturday to shop, you think they're calling an Uber? The taxis are right there. When you go on the strip, Sheldon, we all know where the taxi stands are. You understand? So, for those of you, you don't want to operate after certain hours, you might have to change that mindset to provide the service to ensure that the money stays there. So, I'm going to be listening to the debate, listening to the discussions, and before I really form an opinion. Competition, just like the Airbnbs, right? Mm-hmm. The hotels, did they complain? Maybe. Maybe I was not paying attention, but it's basically about the same thing. Airbnbs, I know at one time they were trying to pass legislation to fine you a lot of money if you're operating on an Airbnb. But you'll adapt. You understand? Competition is good. In Trinidad, they left. I mean, we have to understand the local customs and the local, the way we do things in St. Lucia, the kind of relationships we have with our taxi drivers and stuff. Yeah, Uber will come and it might appeal to a certain market, I'm not saying no. I'm not saying, it's all good or it's all bad. Mm-hmm. But I think when you have competition, it forces you to change your mindset and to up your game. And who knows, we might be seeing a different kind of operation from our taxi drivers because we can adapt. We can adapt. There's a challenge. The challenge is before you. What do? You just lay back and play dead, or you fight back. So let us see what's going to happen. I think the minister has promised at the next briefing to update the public. The only thing I'm very happy about, he says that no agreement has been signed. And I wonder how you could legislate that. Would Uber be paying taxes in St. Lucia?
That's what a lot of things have to.
Would they be paying taxes? I mean, how the legal framework around that? Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot that we need to ask ourselves. So let it play out, Shelton. There's going to be more talk, more discussion. I'm going to be listening.
If Uber is going to get paid and so on, yes. Is there VAT that is available?
Going to be collected?
Who gets it collected and how is it remitted and so on? Is there an agreement, in place and all of that? So,
we know we have to be listening and let the debate continue.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Terry. We don't have much time, but I think we can begin. The phone isn't set up for our calls on the landline, so maybe you might want to do that.
But our listeners, the real issues people, they are torn. We have the sitting of the House going on, and we also have, that's why I'm wearing my colors, the battle relay. So real issues people already. We know we are happy with the 16-1. Sheldon, as we're talking about Uber, they say, sir. So they're in the House, and they're with Kifo in Schwarzschild. So we are competing with these two things. The Prime Minister is on his feet now. I don't know what he's talking about. I'll have to take it in when I go home. There's a lot happening. A lot of action is happening. I'm happy to see the leader of the opposition.
Yeah, I think we're getting our first call. Yeah, let's take it. Mm-hmm. Hi, Real Issues, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Can I get an Uber service from Monday down to Wednesday to Debarras?
Yes, I'll be picking you up.
I think we want an
and we're picking up Shelton too, eh?
I think we want an Uber service, after the program from down to the Baton Relay and so on. And I think we know who will pay it for us.
But always to Deborah tomorrow?
Tomorrow is what, Tuesday?
Wednesday, Gasson.
Wednesday, okay. But I'll let you know.
All right.
On that Uber matter, the only problem I have with this, because I have made 3 videos, I didn't Shelton, I've listened to them and watched them. Unlike the hotels, standard is no different from Uber, which sells the tourist package overseas. When the tourists come there, they're ready to pay everything. All what they need is boarding and lodging, and some of them even pay the taxi fare from overseas. That happens there in the resorts. Now, my thing is this. I don't believe we should, if there's some way that we could prevent all the money from going out. And I believe with the Uber thing, we can stop all the money from going out because it's our tourist, it's our destination. So I do think, and that is why like I said in my video, it is a very complex thing because it's an online platform. It is very complex. One of the things that could stop Uber, in my view, and I strongly believe that, if they don't get people to register to do the work for them.
Okay.
You see, because
have you registered? Are you an Uber taxi?
I will never do that. I have left taxi completely, Shelton.
Okay, all right, okay.
I left taxi. But you see, it is something that it is not that taxi drivers are out of a payroll. It's a matter of those who are in the association. For example, let me give you an example. A man who works at La Place Carinage, when a cruise ship comes, will stand there and wait to fly for a taxi. And then somebody is going to come there and say, I'm looking for Felino, which is my Uber driver. He feels that, oh shit, if Felino was not an Uber driver, he would have gotten a trip. And he sees cash in his hand. It's all about the money, Because when I actually opened and revolutionized taxi in 1 cent, and I'm blowing my trumpet here, by creating franc tours, I was the first person to start selling tours online, Shelton.
Okay.
You see what? You see the pushback Uber is getting there? I got that. I mean, when I had tourists coming to meet me of a cruise ship, at one point, the guys went to NDC for point traffic, and I had to give the people direction to walk to meet me by select,
Okay.
Because that was the first time they saw, outside of Cox and Company, saw tourists coming in from a cruise ship and asking for somebody local. And that worked well. I'm happy that now a lot of guys are doing it. I left this thing in COVID, but I actually started this thing. So the Uber thing for me is where they have the issue. If Uber would not carry cruise ship people at all, these guys would be happy. But it is not that Uber is taking work from taxi drivers, because the other set of people that are working with Uber are taxi drivers themselves.
Okay.
But it is a very complex thing. I don't know how the government is going to handle it. And I don't think, since the tourists are coming to our shores, I believe Uber can go scot-free on the platform and get monies because of the name St. Lucia and do pay something back.
Okay.
They'll have to formalize something and get it to work out some way.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. We have a caller waiting on the WhatsApp line, I think, or did the person give up? Okay, I saw a call buzzing there. So I think we're due for the commercial break. Let's take it. When we come back, we'll go with more calls. And there's probably a couple of people who I promise, including the lady of Piat Grand Riviera, who's been complaining for a whole year about the water thing. I just want to let her express herself because she's been very, very persistent about this one. But there is a call. Let's take the call, please. Yeah. Real Issues, you're on the air. Hello.
Good day.
Hi, yes, Real Issues, are you there?
Yeah, good day. Yes, I'm there. I didn't realize I got the line. Yes.
Yeah, this is just...
I realize Uber will be the topic of this week. No, that is not the button, yes. I give my opinion on Uber, and like I was saying, if everything it has its pros and its cons. So I recall a few years ago I traveled, and my brother dropped me. I took a bus. When I reached U40, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, yeah, I'll spread that in different. You cannot get one bus. So I'm saying here, that's when Uber will come into play. Because even the bus drivers in the south, as long as it's already 8 o'clock, they do not want to, you don't get one bus driver, understand? So that's the important aspect of Uber, not from a touristic point of view, but from locals, a lot of locals will benefit. Because in Barbados, they do very well. I remember I was in Barbados, and yes, we use their services, and it was good. I mean, with everything, it will have its issues, it will have its disadvantage, but to get from one point to the other point, yeah, that's the most important thing.
Okay.
Yes, and safety is very important because safer you get a taxi, get something to take you home, then you have to be hiking, especially this time.
Okay. All right,
okay,
thank you.
gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Real Issues, you're on the air. Go ahead. Hello? All right, looks like the person hung up. So let's go for the break. We should have gone for it, but I didn't want to leave that person hanging. We'll be back to take more of your calls in a moment.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
This one will be massive! Legacy 2026, the Independence Edition, Saturday, February 7th, 8 p.m., Rodney Bay Pavilion. It's the big war! Legacy presents one of the Caribbean's greatest artists ever, the undisputed Queen of Soca, Destra. Yes, Destra Garcia. Destra. Then our groovy giants, Teddyson John, doing his vintage set.
I must have a woman to come and wind up on me.
And King Alpha. Plus the outstanding St. Lucian cast, a mix of legends and rising stars. Ashanti, Educator, Desro, Manchus, Black Eye. Short pants and more. Legacy 26 will be an epic show. Saturday, February 7th, 8 p.m. Rodney Bay Pavilion. Limited early birds $120. Regular $150. Tickets available at Steve's Barbershop and The Way. Sponsored by Republic Bank, Massey Stores, First Citizen, IBS Solution, Piton Bear, Crystal Clear Water, Flow, and the Independence Committee.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Are you ready to make your mark in the media industry? NBC and Real FM are looking for fresh talent to join our team. We are currently seeking a dynamic radio DJ and announcer for Real FM, and also a skilled camera operator and editor for NBC. Apply today. Send your applications to jobs@nbcslu.com. Don't wait. The deadline is February 12, 2026.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with the real issues on this Tuesday. It is the date number 4 of the month of February. So if you call a February, this is your month, Moi February, So
we have one call in there.
Was that?
We have a February call in there.
Well, there's a February who normally, used to join us. I notice he get vexed with us now, So I don't know if it's because it's what happened to Mix. Mix just drop us,
He was in TNT, I think,
Not even a hello, Mix called Mix called
he was in the Bacchanal.
Not even a hail up and so on. So tell him to come to our legacy because he's had his fill already.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, anyway, Miguel Fevrier, we miss you. Hope to see you soon. You haven't been calling us. You haven't been present at all. But, we are in February month, so... the other favorites, but I know Terry wouldn't like to hear about them, so I ain't talking about them. There's a gentleman who is from Choiseul. Now, I don't think he wants me to mention his name, but, Jaime and I, on our other programs, we had brought in an examiner to talk about various, things on the road, the quality of drivers that we have. And one of the things that came out is that the fraudulence in acquiring driver's licenses is still rife. He doesn't think it is widespread, that it is overwhelming, but he says he knows it's happening. Mm-hmm. And other people have alluded to it, of people buying licenses. And it requires some collusion on the inside for that to happen. One person can't do it by themselves. Yeah. The collusion has to be in a chain. It has to be well coordinated. But there's a gentleman who told me something very disturbing, and he actually sent me what he says is evidence, a picture of his driver's license, And he's saying that police actually stopped him, asked for his driver's license, and when he presented it, they told him that the license is fake.
Wow.
He's had his license for how many years? It's been renewed. But apparently this time the police were able to pick up something that is fraudulent. I don't know why he would go for fraud if he's already in the system, if it's saving money, whatever. But they've charged him. He's supposed to go to court, and they've held on to his license. He sent to me what seems to be an official receipt, for the payment of his license. I don't know. I said to myself, if they're doing that, he said he can send you a picture of my driver's license. Police did me injustice. They took my license in November. Up to now, they have not returned his license to him. There is no investigation. This is a picture of the license. We have a caller on the landline. We'll take it soon. But this is his picture, the gentleman, his name, everything is there.
That looks authentic.
And it looks authentic, but apparently the police were picking up something. So I don't know, what would be the gain of somebody on the inside to issue with a fake license if you're paid, unless they're taking. So I don't know, but it's sounding all very fishy to me. We have a call on the line. Real Issues, you're on the air.
Hi.
Hello.
Terry.
Yes, my brother.
Shelton, I take your point about the competition and you and Terry and all of that stuff, and maybe it'll get our local taxi operators, especially those who are not interested in joining up with Uber to up their game. And like I told you before, I'm not averse to the competition. I'm not averse to that at all. But this thing about the Minister for Commerce saying that nothing has been agreed yet between the government and Uber in terms of Uber applying to do business in St. Lucia, and the Uber reps saying that Uber has already started doing business here. Gentlemen, look, this has soured me a bit. It has soured me a bit. Because the thing is, there are lots of issues here. I mean, for one thing, Uber is providing a business service. An online platform, yes, but a business service. The other thing is taxes. Taxes. How does the government collect its taxes from?
It's not all that difficult, eh? Barbados complained about people shopping online, and it was depriving them of taxes, and they got into an arrangement with Amazon.com and many others that the taxes can be inputted
hear me out. I understand that, but the thing is, nothing has been agreed yet. Sure, they can collect the taxes, but nothing has been agreed yet in terms of just how that will be arranged, how much it will be, etc., etc., etc. The other thing is, I heard you mention, Shelton, your credit card information. You started putting that in, but then you stopped.
When I reached the point where they asked for my credit card info, I didn't complete the registration.
Now, Shelton, for me, I would be a bit leery myself.
Before next thing today, I'm looking at my thing online, and I see 2,000 free whatever.
We hear all the time about those hackers getting into all kinds of systems, whether government systems, private sector, getting into those things and asking those companies, once they've gotten into those systems, asking those people to pay them using Bitcoin so they can release their system, and those companies that refuse, they put people's data on the dark web. Now, I heard you say that one of the reps said that they're providing a secure platform, but how do we know that? Look, in terms of how technology works, the guys could have one server serving their clients in North America, have another server serving their clients in Europe, on which they have separate databases, and have another server for serving Caribbean people. You understand? Now, how do we know that that the type of security they provide for the clients in North America and Europe are not more sophisticated? They provide a higher level of safety features than what they'll provide for us here in the Caribbean, so that we know that when we submit our credit card or debit card info, that is secure, at least as secure as that goes, because we know that no system is 100% foolproof. You understand? But how do we know that they're not providing some kind of papi show thing as opposed to what they're providing in North America and Canada? So there are still quite a lot of issues, Shelton, to be ironed out, so that people know exactly what they're dealing with. But this thing about those guys saying they're already in operation when the minister says that nothing has been agreed yet, that has soured me a little bit.
I must say, I can't disagree with you on that one. Thank you very much. All right, Real Issues. We are taking your calls. We just had one on the landline. We can take it via the WhatsApp route, and the number there is 487-9849. I think we have someone waiting. Is it connecting still? All right, we have a call on the line. Real Issues, you're on the air.
Yes, good afternoon. How do you do, people?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
Oh, frozen but alive.
You look like you just debauched an Uber there,
I just debauched.
Yeah, what's on your mind today?
To the Uber, I'm not against investment in St. Lucia. But to me, Uber is not going to work. What we need a good association like Uber. From my workplace to my house is 26 kilometers.
That's a marathon.
When I need a taxi, I pay $45. If I take an Uber, it's $19. It's the same route. People, if we bring Uber into St. Lucia, it's not going to be beneficial to St. Lucians. It is always a foreigner that's going to drink our people's blood. Now, on the other hand, some people will say, well, oh, she lives in foreign, but she's against it. I am not against investment. I do not want to see somebody in a no man's land or a Johnny come lately come and just take advantage of our people.
Okay.
First to begin, Uber does not operate like the minibus. You need your ATM card. You need your credit card to do transaction with Uber. And most times, it has happened to me. Even when you call for a trip, what's your address? Where are you? I'm certain such a place. Especially a day that the city bus has a problem. They take advantage of people. You know what they do? They have one customer at up the mall. They have one down at the flat down at cul-de-sac. And one at Bexon. Where are they heading to? They are heading to Sanssouci. Now you call them up at all the way up higher up Bexon. You have already paid them. They cancel you.
Wow.
And they go get somebody. They go get these free. They put these free together. And they get their money. While when they cancel you, sometimes it takes 2-3 days before they send your money back to your account. We have to be very careful. Ekalot bagay meledi. Maka evite se plisien. Kite un homme pour la peau jaune. Vini prend l'avantage à les autres. Vini ensemble souple. Ek forme un bagay. We do not want people that are not registered as taxis to come and do that. You have a car, even you don't have a TX, you have an H. Come together and do what has to be done. Because things are getting bad, people are robbing people, but with Uber, you don't have cash on you, not even your tip. But don't forget, you are working for an association. It's them that are paying you. You don't pay yourself. We have to be careful. Have a good day, people.
All right, thank you.
But
Thank you very much.
what is Uber investing? They're extracting.
Yeah, that's what the question.
Yeah,
saying.
they're not there's no office, there's no infrastructure.
Maybe it's a service.
It's a service, yeah, but it's an extractive
service that is provided digitally. They're putting you in touch with an available taxi. The taxi is getting paid. You know, at the end of the day, you are paying. The taxi is getting paid. What Uber is doing is collecting, I suppose, something on the side as the how you call that, the service broker,
using the taxi drivers, taxi. They get, and you get it out. We need to think that properly and come together to combat.
Okay, we have a call on the line. Real issues, you're on the air. Go ahead. Hello?
Hi.
Yeah, hi, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, Shelton. Terry, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
I have a bit of an issue with Uber. Y'all have done what you all need to do and are asking taxi drivers, registered taxi drivers, to register with your app so that they can become members of your team and all of that kind of thing. However, the Minister of Tourism, a member of government of this country, is saying that they have heard nothing, or they have not given or have not had the conversation or have told you all to hold on, let them have the conversation with you, but you're going to bypass them and go ahead and do what you need to do to get members to register with you. For me, that is the first red flag. That's disrespect. What happens if perchance a registered or the registered taxi drivers have issues with you? whom do they direct their queries or their issues to after having issues? I mean, for me, the first thing, most important thing would be to have conversations with a member of the government or the government of the country, and thereafter proceed to ask persons or taxi drivers to register with you. What taxi drivers and bus drivers need to do is to provide the requisite service. And I understand that there are some communities that drivers are apprehensive about for whatever reason, especially heightened criminality, heightened criminal activity, hold-ups and that kind of thing. I understand that. But they need to start having the conversation amongst themselves to see how they can fix this so that commuters are not placed at the disadvantage where they may be quick to turn to Uber. Let us fix us up before we call in a foreigner to fix us up, thinking that the foreigner cares about us when they don't necessarily care about us, but just the bottom line.
All right, thank you very much. I don't think anyone can disagree with that, in any reasonable way. Thank you very much. I did see the red light on the landline was blinking, but I do suppose that the tether of okay, I think it's blinking again. Okay, hi caller, you're on the air, go ahead.
Yeah, I have to come back in, Shelton, because as I drive and I'm sitting and I'm listening, most things and I'm hearing other people speaking, as one who was in the industry, I would, if the PM or the tourism minister would call me today and ask me what's my opinion of that, first thing I would say to him, the fact that Uber has disrespected them, our government, and the people in Lucia, I would tell them no. The other thing I would do, he say you have to manage the association, I would tell the association and because they need to, there's about 700 new guys that have taxi plates, okay? So they need to incorporate these guys. I would assist them in creating an online platform like Uber to service St. Lucia. Because Uber is not bringing nothing. I don't like a hotelier who comes and he puts his money in and he builds his hotel and blah, blah, blah. Uber is not bringing nothing. What they are doing is coming and
a local service like Uber sounds like a good project for the youth economy.
That's right.
Yeah,
I mean, there's nothing preventing our people from coming together from an associate and offer the services. We already know you.
Fly here.
Yeah.
And I would guarantee the guys, the 700 guys who are taxi drivers now with the taxi plates, I would guarantee them work. I would incorporate them because right now, most of the guys that are into the Uber are people that are not in association.
Yeah.
And that is one of the problems. So they find a niche. But Uber itself is not doing nothing, and that is my issue. My
no
issue,
vehicles,
these guys
they do not own the vehicles.
Our throwing dollars.
Yeah.
And that is where I said to him, no. That's my 2 cents again.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Do we have anyone else on the landline, Terry?
Because Sheldon, I mean, just make it make sense to me. They do not own vehicles. So I'll be using, you are going to register with me. I do not own your vehicle. You're going to use your vehicle as Uber. And I'm going to be collecting the money and giving you a percentage.
No, I don't think they need to give it the percentage.
You remit
will
it
already be getting through the app. You understand?
Yeah. That doesn't make sense when I can collect all the money myself. Okay. So why don't we have to, I mean, taxi drivers and those of you in the service, I mean, Trinidad and Tobago, they were able to do that. We have our own cultural practices there. We know, come together, man. I mean, look at what's available. Up your game. Right. And provide the service. The primary service is eat what you grow and grow what you eat. I will be willing to take my chances with my friends who are taxi drivers.
Somebody says, I believe the implementation of Uber service is a great idea, also in keeping up with the modern times. Where there are similarities with the taxi service, this one provides timely convenience when necessary. All right. With the implementation of Uber, I am certainly sure security measures will be put in place in endorsing those who are able to register for Uber. Therefore, I believe we should welcome the idea to the flow of activities in our daily lives. I think what Terry is saying is that what there can we not do
it ourselves?
You know,
So they're there. We're not going to kick them out, but we can provide a rival service until and we support our own. Then they realize, well, there's nothing for them in the market, and they live like in Trinidad. So we're not going to chase them. As you said, you cannot just close the society. It's open to competition, so there's competition, and we must find a way to compete. That's all I'm saying. So you could band together taxi drivers locally and keep the money here. There must be no leakage, nothing going out. Keep your 100% of your fare. You have to maintain your vehicle. You have to gas up your vehicle. You have to buy parts. Come on, you're just going to let somebody use your vehicle, and they're taking a percentage of what you own. That doesn't make sense to me.
Okay. All right. That looks like basically where we have. Let me say good afternoon to Tyrone from Piat in Grand Riviere. As a matter of fact, the same lady who I wanted to try to call and get on the line to talk about the water, that's her husband, from Piat in Grand Riviere. And I think his birthday was, when was it? Yesterday. So belated birthday. It's just a day. Tyrone, to you. And greetings to your wife, Vanessa. I do hope that the problems with the water, that they will improve, because I have to say this lady has been persistent. She's been tenacious in terms of the problem she has been having with water. And to her credit, if ever they send a water truck, she'll say, they sent a truck for us yesterday, so we had a little water. The problem is I have a back problem, so even when I maybe get a drum full of water, carrying it is really problematic for me. I think she also has a shop, and she says this is affecting, the service delivery and all that.
Yes.
Now, remember, we did in the course of the year speak to Minister Kazime, and he did give an explanation. I think he called her and explained the situation to her about how they really need to redevelop the whole water thing. We know under the previous government, things that should have been
done.
The negligence. They went into all kind of... It's all right for you to go into a horse race and all this sort of thing. It's all right for you to do those things. But my friend, when the basics like water, motorable roads, you understand? Other basic service deliveries and so on are not attended to. And you're going into all kind of pie in the sky fantasies, people are not going to be happy. The sad thing is your successors who are committed to doing it, we get impatient with them, but it takes some time to do something properly. Yeah, go ahead, Jerry.
And we have to revisit that Wasco thing. I mean, I know I've made a few enemies over that.
Yeah.
But Shelton, I have a friend who keeps telling me, no, corruption is not only when you steal money, Bad decisions.
Yes.
When as stewards of the people's money, you mismanage it and you do things that you ought not to do. You understand? When you look at decision making, leadership is important. So when you mismanage and you do things that are not proper, it's corruption. And we have to revisit that Wasco thing, and we have to demand of our government a tabling in the house of this silting of the dam. I've been making enemies on that, fine. But I'm going to come back to it at some point.
Yeah, we got a rule now.
Well,
okay?
yes.
Thank you very much, everyone, for staying with the real issues, powered by Blue Waters. Tomorrow, God willing, we'll do it again. Thanks, Jaquan. Until then, on behalf of Terry, this is Shelton Daniel signing out.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
This one will be massive. Legacy 2026, the Independence Edition. Saturday, February 7th, 8 p.m. Rodney Bay Pavilion. It's the big war. Legacy presents one of the Caribbean's greatest artists ever. The undisputed queen of soca, Destra. Yes, Destra Garcia. Destra. Then our groovy giants, Teddyson John, doing his vintage set.
I must have a woman to come and wine up on me.
And King Alpha. Plus the outstanding St. Lucian cast, a mix of legends and rising stars. Ashanti, Educator, Desra, Manchus, Black Eye. Short pants and more. Legacy 26 will be an epic show. Saturday, February 7th, 8 p.m. Rodney Bay Pavilion. Limited early birds $120. Regular $150. Tickets available at Steve's Barbershop and The Way. Sponsored by Republic Bank, Massey Stores, First Citizen, IBS Solutions, Piton Bear, Crystal Clear Water, Flow, and the Independence Committee.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended.
The winning numbers for the midday draw of Tuesday, 3rd February 2026 were Double Daily Grand 2, 6, 21, 22. Big 4, 6, 0, 0, 2. Big 4 Multi-X 2X. Pick 2, 5, 1. Pick 2 Multi-X 2X. 1 off 7, 6, 9. Lucky 3, 3, 2, 6. Lucky 3 Multi-X 2X.
Now back to our regularly scheduled program.